Okay, I've just filmed a 15-minute video and apparently I didn't have my audio devices working because I'd just recently taken my PC apart and rebuilt it. Nonetheless, I'll quickly try and do a recap. But it gets bed. It's like 3 a.m. here, getting mighty late. I have been caught up last week working on quite a few different changes, but since our last video, probably not as much has taken place because the weekend we had the F100 catch-up event, so I was focusing mostly on getting my game ready for that. Now, I did manage to demo it. One thing I did observe and heard through the community was that perhaps I need to focus on my pitch now. We're in the last leg of the run, so potentially in a few more days, February 19th, that's the planned completion date for the F100 Hackathon. There is a discussion that maybe it will be extended. I had concerns with that because the idea was to extend it to allow people to take a little bit of a reprieve, given there's a lot been going on lately. But from the developer's perspective, or at least sorry, from mine, not everyone's, there's going to be a bit of a vote on this. I believe that if we just extend it by another week, it just means we're all going to keep working at the same level of effort, but for a continued period of time. It won't actually ease pressure. If anything, it might impact some other plans that some of us have already had, i.e. like, taught our family that we wouldn't be working so many late nights on, a hackathon or something along those lines. I can't speak for everyone, but nonetheless, I was going to focus just on my pitch for this week, but I did also want to get a few extra features out. So I have set up a temporary website called fractalwars.io. Hey, it may stay, don't know, but it's just a little bit nicer for the delivery. We've also had the placeholder and asset that we've had as the planet. That's been swapped out now. My friend Markom3D, so youtube.com/Markom, MARKOM 3D. He created this asset for me. It took him less than an hour. He's a good friend of mine. Hopefully we can do some work together in the future with some from Fractal games. My sort of vision and pitch that I've been thinking about lately is, how can I keep creating this succession of mini games that sort of lead on one from another, or maybe within the same game, and there's a central database of just tracking scores, ranks, points, weekly, monthly, yearly, who knows, but have some sort of like competitive community game which no one's a specialist at. Everyone's sort of like learning these fun, simple mechanics, and can compete for maybe winning some tries. Well, some tries, just fractals in general. So I'm trying to work out how I can fit in the fractal ecosystem and be around, in the future and keep helping with development and, having my games, prototype different concepts. How can fractals be delivered in games, and just have the community assist me come up with different ideas, and I'll keep pushing these games out. And obviously they'll get better as time goes on and I can become quicker. For this particular build, I've spent quite a lot of time trying to learn how to actually create a game in a non-standard conventional format of X, Y, and Z, where your player, you press W, just goes down, say, the Z axis, or goes in the direction of whichever, where your camera's facing. Like there's some simple things like that I've previously been able to play around with: first person, third person controllers, top down controllers. And it's always just quite simple, where your character is affected by physics and gravity within the Unity engine, and gravity always pulls you down the Y axis. So the system just handles a lot of that for you. In this instance, when I've been building this game around a sphere, I've had to learn how can you actually have your player work around a planet. So I've had to turn off gravity, and I have to simulate gravity in a sense, or a locked in orbit, so code to lock you in relation to the center of a sphere. So you're going around this 2D plane, but around a spherical object, like things like that. It's probably taking me 40% of my development effort, and then 40% of my development effort to actually work on like the networking side of things, and maybe 20% like visual and other sorts of statistics, leaderboards, UI. So all those kind of things that I'm thinking will hopefully go quicker and quicker from iteration to iteration, game to game, especially depending on the type of game. I feel like this might have been one of the more challenging mini games that I've created, which has been great. I've really enjoyed learning. But just to quickly go back to some updates, yes, we've got the new website, fractalwars.io, the new world. I'm starting to test bullets, which is what I was talking about before. We'll just open that up. I'm essentially throwing in over 100 lines of code trying to test different functions that's made available to me to instantiate bullets, to send them out using different functions, whether it's a physics function, what's called a transform function, which is sort of like teleporting people, forcing them to go in certain directions. Simply put, I'm trying to have the ability to run around the map WASD as we are now, but clicking wherever we click will shoot a bullet out from our fractal in that direction. And then I was hoping to utilize power to have a little bit of an application. So if you have 100 power fractal, then you do a little bit more damage, sort of thing. I'm just finding it a little bit difficult at the moment to shoot objects and have them go around the planet. And once I overcome that hurdle, I have a feeling I've got a couple more hours there. Once I've overcome that hurdle, then I need to take a look at a networking hurdle. So do I want to shoot and tell everyone that I've created another network object, and everyone now needs to receive networking messages to say where that object is? I think that's going to add too much bandwidth on the network. And from what I've read, it sounds like it might be best that I just simply tell everyone, yes, I have created a bullet. This is where it was created at these coordinates, X, Y, Z, at this particular coordinate. This is the direction that it is going. And I'm asking their PC to create that bullet on their PC, and they track whether they collide with that bullet or not. So I'm only sending them one message rather than me create a network bullet, which needs to send out 10 messages every second. So it'll just literally be like another player around the map, which is just going to add too much bandwidth, lag out the server, cost too much to run. I don't know. But at the moment, I'm already seeing there's latency issues when players collide with one another. And sometimes you're eaten by someone that you didn't even see yet, because latency has been so high that on their computer, they did bump into you. So they sent you a kill request, because each player has a destroy function. And if I bump into someone and I do a calculation that says I'm bigger than you, I'm going to send you a destroy message over the network. It's part of the Photon Unity system. It's called a PUN RPC, remote procedure call. So I will send you information that, yes, I did bump into you, and yes, I've killed you. And at the moment, the way it's coded is that you simply agree. Whenever you receive a kill message, done. You're done. So I need to work out, is there other ways I can improve that? And similarly, when I add in this bullet mechanism, is that going to add some further lag issues? I'm hoping not, because we're going to be sending out bullets and then asking the client PCs or the receiving PCs of that data to calculate whether the bullets collide with them or not. So yeah, I've got a bit of work to do, and I'm also just trying to obviously focus on the pitch. What can I provide going forward? Is my game something I'm just creating here and now and then I'm blitzing out? That's not my intent, obviously. I don't want to create an NFT game. I don't feel like that works for me personally. I still need to think about this more, but I really like the idea of being more involved with the Discord community. I feel like if I'm creating my own game, I have to take people away from Fractal and bring them over into my own Discord channel, have my own exclusive group that I'm sort of growing. Whereas I would like to work more so in the Fractal space, develop games there, be more involved with the community there, because that's obviously where I'm heavily involved at the moment, acting as like a good vibe, good community, great place, investing there. I feel like it's more complementary to me, focused on making Fractal games. Whether or not I'm accepted in that capacity or not, I don't know. I'd love to have some sort of partnership where I could do that, but that's up in the air. It's obviously not up to me, and whether, yeah. But anyway, that I've got to focus on that pitch, what I think I can offer, what I can see in my future trajectory, my roadmap ideas. Some things that were thrown around is, perhaps these unutilized tokens, like the House of Sparta tokens, the 100,000 tokens that are created each time, and they are continuing to be created each time, because it's safer for you to have a burner wallet and a token that you buy a mint with, rather than using your wallet that has all of your NFTs and you go out minting with that wallet. So there's going to be a whole bunch of these tokens that are unutilized, and perhaps we could use these tokens as like tickets that you could play the Fractal games with, compete in the Fractal games with. It gives them a purpose then. But we've got some things to explore, and I'm happy to be a prototyper. I'm happy to come up with all different sorts of ideas, taking community suggestions, come up with certain games, multiplayer Pac-Man, different with fractals, that sort of concept, and different benefits, and work out all the different ways that we can slice and dice the attributes and teams and factions and this, that, and the other. I find that all really exciting, and I love data, I love ideas, I love programming. So I think there's a good opportunity there. But look, this is probably going to be my last video, I think, for a few days at least again, until I've managed to finish my pitch video. Whether I publish that online, I don't know. Time will tell. I'm gonna go really work this out and see how far I want to get by February 19th. But thanks for everyone that's followed me so far. It's been a pleasure to have you all on this journey. Thanks for everyone that's provided the suggestions and playtesting along the way. It's very much appreciated. If you haven't already and you've enjoyed the content and you've come along this far and you've listened to me this far and still listening right this very minute, you're more than welcome to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.